Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining us today. I'll be moderating this presentation. My name is Matt Savage. I'm also moderating with Melina Corona. We both work at Build It Green. And you're on the Energy Upgrade California Participation Workshop. Build It Green is the program implementer for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program, which is a part of Energy Upgrade California. And we'll explain kind of how it all works throughout this presentation. If you are having trouble hearing us, we did get a question. Someone was having trouble hearing us. Hopefully you can hear us now. We checked for everyone. It looks like everyone's hearing us. So if you're not hearing us, you won't be hearing me right now. But just make sure everyone's muted right now. So the webinar is being recorded, and a link will be emailed after the presentation, usually within a few days, and also put up on our website. So you can also share when you get that, you can share with others in your organization who may be interested in this topic. But this is also a requirement for the enrollment process at the company level. So if you're attending on behalf of a company as the first stage of enrollment, this is you're in the right place. And on that note, we will be monitoring attendance. So please stay the whole time. We do have an ability to see who attended and how long they stayed. So please just grab a comfy chair and sit back and relax and just absorb as much as you can. We'll be sending the slides out later, so feel free not to take notes, just listen. On the question policy, if you have questions during the presentation, you can enter them in the question box on the right-hand side of the GoToMeeting dashboard. As I mentioned, your phone line is on mute currently due to the high number of attendees. So please use that question box, and periodically we'll answer your questions during the presentation. We'll also have a period at the end of the presentation for an open Q&A. So those are both options for the questions. I did also mention that this is called the Participation Workshop, and I think with that we'll get started. Before we do get started, we'd just like to ask you what you'd like to get out of the presentation. So please enter what you'd like to get out of the presentation in the question box to the right of your screen, or you can enter it. I think it says question or comment, so feel free to enter it there. And we'll also be running a poll, which Melina will put on the screen, or I can put it on the screen. Let's see, so we're launching the poll. So please provide us with your affiliation so we know who you are today, who's on the call. So we just, now you may have entered your affiliation, so we're going to share that with you. Who's on the call? Great. So it looks like we have a lot of contractors on the line, about 70%. Some HERS 2 raters, that's great. A few architects and designers, a few program administrators, and some others. Hopefully, feel free to let us know who you are if this didn't cover your affiliation. But so thank you so much for that. So great, you're in the right place. This is definitely a contractor and rater program, and there are opportunities for architects and designers, but more in terms of collaboration with contractors and raters. So we're going to get started now. This presentation lasts about 2 to 2.5 hours on average. So we ask for your patience and get engaged and just sit back. Don't take too many notes, just listen because you'll have this presentation. And what we're going to cover today is why get into this program, so why Home Performance and the Energy Upgrade California program, and then the second part we're going to go into how to participate. So we'll cover program scope, the enrollment process, how to submit your rebate application, and also the field mentoring and quality assurance process. So our goal today is everything you need to know to participate in the program. And we'll keep throwing around the term participant. And then within this context of this program, that means contractors and qualified HERS whole house raters. So both raters and contractors can participate in this program, and we have pathways for both. So this program, Energy Upgrade California program, is not unique to California. It's part of a national trend and a nationwide investment. We've seen new home construction crash in recent years, particularly in California, and there's an increasing shifting attention to existing homes and what we can do with existing homes, particularly with some of the programs administered by CPUC and the CEC, which stands for the California Public Utilities Commission and the California Energy Commission. There's also a shifting emphasis towards performance-based incentives and not just widgets. So we're seeing these programs switch from what we've known as prescriptive rebates to performance incentives. So in this program, that means that you do a test in on the baseline of the house when you arrive, and then a test out and see what the improvements you installed made to the energy and comfort of the home. But mostly it's around the energy. So this is kind of, we're building on previous experience nationwide, and as we look at this map of the U.S., energy efficiency often starts in California and moves east, but in this case, Home Performance really started in New York about 20 years ago and has since moved west. So we're building on these extensive prior programs and building on that experience. So what is Home Performance? Home Performance it's all about BS, well, building science, that is. It's about diagnosing problems within the house and prescribing solutions. It's really as simple as that. We have problems in the home such as indoor air quality, high energy use, and occupancy comfort. And these are some of the main things that we're trying to address with Home Performance. As you may be aware, you probably are if you're all contractors, buildings are highly complicated systems of components, and as such, they must be addressed through a comprehensive cause and effect analysis. So seeing the system as a system of interrelated parts is part of Home Performance. This diagram shows you kind of what that might look like. By completing measures first, such as sealing and insulating, you'll get the most out of any larger and more costly, generally, system improvements you make, such as installing a new furnace or replacing windows. So really it's about sealing that building envelope first and then right-sizing the systems appropriately afterwards. So the main thing I'd like to emphasize on this slide is that this program enables you to really achieve deep energy savings, and we're hoping that you, as the contractors and rater, are, get your qualifications so you have the tools and knowledge to turn the problems that I mentioned, such as comfort and high energy use and indoor air quality, into comprehensive solutions with the ability to save a lot of energy, and not just see things as, swapping out boxes or doing a patchwork of measures. So we're hoping that we get beyond the audit only, and we're also able to provide the work. So the contractor preps the job scope and makes recommendations, but you also prepared to deliver on that. So Energy Upgrade California, as a statewide brand, was formed. This is the kind of the promotional tagline. The tools and resources that make it easy for property owners to improve energy, water efficiency, save money, increase home comfort, and help the environment. So a lot of the things I've mentioned. Upgrade was the chosen word and not audit, because audit, they've done research, audit is related to tax collection. So upgrades are more preferable and consumerized. The statewide goals are, these are a little out of date right now, or maybe not out of date, but these are big, hairy, audacious goals. I mean, these are very hard to achieve. The goals originally were to upgrade 100,000 homes by 2013, and we are in 2013 now. And to give you some sense of where we're at towards achieving that, I think we have about 5,000 throughout the state now. So there's been about 5,000 upgrades throughout the state. So
for PG&E Whole House.
For PG&E Whole House, and there's more beyond that, but essentially we are far from reaching that. So there's a huge opportunity here. If you feel like there's might be saturated, this market, it's not. There's just a limitless supply of homes that need this. The goals were also to create 12,000 construction-related jobs, the idea being you can't send your attic to India to be insulated, that kind of thing. We're also, in programs like these, trying to evolve the thinking to a whole house approach, as I kind of mentioned, seeing that house as a system. Reduce greenhouse gas emissions, whether or not you believe in climate change. We are seeing an increase, and we're being mandated by the state to reduce them. And improve air quality and health is also another major goal. So this represents an unprecedented partnership between the California Energy Commission and the Public Utilities Commission, and also a collaboration with local city and county governments, investor-owned utilities, in this case it's PG&E, and municipally owned utilities. And so there are many partners involved, and the vision was to create a sustained home performance industry and transform the market for energy upgrades, or retrofits as it's being called in this slide. But and so at this point you may be wondering where the money's coming from. Well, it's coming from California ratepayers. So part of your energy bill goes towards a bucket of money managed by the CPUC, and part of that goes back towards the utilities for programs like this. There's a lot of stability in this program, unlike some of those other programs that were kind of one-offs, like the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act, because this is funded by ratepayers like you and me. So there's the utility rebates in this program are expected to continue beyond 2013. And there's been discussion about the program going for about the next 10 years. So that's kind of what they've been talking about. The key players in this program are as follows. Program management is Pacific Gas and Electric, the utility here in northern and parts of Southern California. The program implementer is our organization. We're the implementer here at Build It Green. Enrollment and incentive processing they're a subcontractor to us, the Electric and Gas Industries Association. And then the statewide website, which we will walk you through later, is managed currently by Renewable Funding. And the domain name, you can see the URL is energyupgradeca.org. The reason we mention these people or these organizations is just so you kind of get a sense of who's involved. You will mainly be dealing with Build It Green, we're your point people. But some of the numbers that we have, the hotlines, some of them get forwarded to other organizations. Everyone will be speaking as if they are Energy Upgrade California, and sometimes it's nice to know kind of how it all works, how it's all framed. And one other thing to mention is that the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program is only one of the utility programs as part of Energy Upgrade California. So the other utilities across the state, many of them have their own much the same but slightly different versions of Energy Upgrade California. So just be aware of that. Not all utilities are running this exactly the same way. So it serves you to know exactly what utility service territory you're in. And if you're in overlapping territories, you should know that too. So do a little legwork up front so you can kind of map out where you're doing business and make sure you're talking to the right people. So we put these comprehension questions at the end of each section, so we're not going to cover every answer to these because that would be too time-consuming and redundant, but they give you some points to think about after each section so that you can kind of get the main points out of each section. So by this point, you should be able to kind of generally define Energy Upgrade California, maybe not have your pitch perfect for the homeowners yet, but at least know what it is and how it was formed. It's a utility rebate program, if you're still wondering, with rebates up to $4,500. We'll get into more details later, but you should also know a performance-based incentive, what that is, what is home performance in the whole house approach, where the funding is coming from. It's nice to be able to, homeowners are sometimes curious about that, and you're probably curious about that, and who is involved in program implementation and what are their roles. So we'll just pause for a moment. If there are any big questions right now that we're not going to cover later, we might address them. So I'll just confer with my question colleague. So there were some questions about, a clear sense of what's required to be part of this program and how to get enrolled. We'll cover that in the presentation. So we're going to defer those questions until later, and we ask that if we haven't fully answered your question, please ask again or ask a specific follow-up question. So moving on, how does Energy Upgrade California look like to homeowners? The Energy Upgrade California program is framed like this to homeowners. This is the value proposition to homeowners, kind of restating what I've already mentioned about comfort, lowering utility bills, saving energy, improving home efficiency, receiving nice rebates and incentives to do so, taking the whole house approach, helping the environment, and boosting the local economy. So this is what, if you're a homeowner, this is kind of what you'll hear about the program. And there's a lot of flyers and brochures that are available for you, which I'll go into in a second, that state things like that, so you can use those resources to market to the homeowner. So the eligibility for the PG&E rebates is you have to be a PG&E gas and or electric customer. No propane. We get a lot of inquiries about propane. The issue is combustion safety. If there's a combustion safety issue, the PG&E gas service representative is not able to service a propane-fueled home. So the solution is really, unfortunately, to take out the propane service and then apply for the rebates. So if you are in an area where there's extensive propane, be aware of that. Customers also need to be, they have to be a PG&E customer, but customers who receive only one utility from PG&E will receive a prorated rebate amount. What that means is if you're in kind of split utility area serviced by two utilities, so if PG&E supplies the gas or electric and another utility supplies the other part of that, you will only get a rebate attributed to the savings from the PG&E portion based on the energy model. So contact us if you have any questions about that, because that's an important one. Single-family detached and 2 to 4 unit residences are currently eligible. And that includes existing homes, so not new construction, and property owners do not necessarily need to reside in the home. We have a process for that. So here's what the rebates look like. This is the table, and the rebates start at 1,000 and go up to 4,500. The basic package we'll talk about is more kind of set measures that you have to do, and then you get 1,000. The advanced is kind of more flexible. You can do a lot of different things, and you have to use an energy model and get up to $4,500. So the program participants, that's you, either contractors or raters. This is how you're discussed in marketing materials to homeowners. Homeowners must work with a participating contractor or rater to participate in the program, and you have been specifically trained for the program and have met the required qualifications to be a part of it. You're experts in energy efficiency and whole house construction and are certified by the Building Performance Institute, which is an independent nonprofit organization that works for the Department of Energy and the Environmental Protection Agency to develop standards for home performance and weatherization improvements. So contractors also need, things, the valid insurance, licenses. Raters will need a valid HERS, whole house HERS 2 certification. We'll get into all of that in the enrollment section, but these are the kind of certifications that we talk about to homeowners, and you can leverage all of these to your benefit when you talk to homeowners, saying how highly qualified you are. The program website for homeowners is energyupgradesca.org. We'll be referring to this website as the statewide website because all the utilities plug into it. It's kind of, you're able to plan an energy upgrade project tailored to your home in your county. So the first step for a homeowner is to enter their county or their address, and that'll take them to a certain kind of sub-website for that county, which may or may not be PG&E County. So just be aware that all the utilities are under that one website. But as a homeowner, you can find a list of participating contractors. The list of participating raters is currently under development because this was a new pathway that we launched last year, and we haven't yet upgraded that website to include that. So we do have a list of participating raters. There's only a handful right now, so you're one of the first if you're interested in getting involved. And that website is our our program portal, which is mainly contractor and rater facing, so it's kind of more back end for you guys, and we can tell you and show you where that is after a little bit later. So homeowners can also find out which rebates are available in their local areas. They can watch videos. Here's what that website looks like when you first get to it. This is a portal for all 58 counties. So you enter your county or zip code, and you can see the local rebates and incentives. You can select an upgrade package and choose from a list of participating contractors in your area. Then you click the Go button. So this is kind of an example of Alameda County's website. They'll all look kind of similar, but they'll have slightly different content. So from here, from each county's page, you can enter, create an action plan as a homeowner. And this is a step-by-step process to help you determine which upgrade options might work best for you. So you enter your address. You get a choice here, which upgrade package you want. And then you can select, once you've created your action plan, you can choose a participating contractor and find out which ones are in your area and qualified to do the work that you want. So you can also find a rater on this website, but if there's some more clarification around that we can provide later, probably around what the PG&E rater pathway is versus the raters that you find on the Energy Upgrade California website. The main difference being who submits the rebate application to us. If you're going to go down our rater pathway for the PG&E program, you will be able to submit the rebate application on behalf of the homeowner to us and manage that whole submission process. Whereas many of these raters who work on this website will just do HERS ratings and ratings for contractors and not do the paperwork. So here is a list of contractors once you select one, and you can choose one and email them and call them. So by now, here are the things you should know. You should know generally the benefits of Energy Upgrade California from the homeowner's perspective. How do I calculate the rebates for homeowners? You'll learn more about exactly how to do that, but you should know that they're from $1,000 to $4,500. How should I talk about myself and my qualifications? What is the statewide website URL? As a homeowner, what can I do on the website? So we'll briefly pause while you digest those questions and see if there's any big questions right now. So we have some questions.
We do have some questions about enrollment and job submission process, which we will go through in separate sections of the presentation. I do, however, want to pause for a question regarding on-bill financing. How will on-bill financing for residential be available this year? We currently don't have in our scope of work on-bill financing as a service to provide to contractors and homeowners. We haven't been told by our client PG&E to expand our services and include that, but that doesn't mean PG&E isn't working on it. I will escalate this question about on-bill financing to our contract manager for further clarification, and I'll do my best to get a response to you guys out with the follow-up email and a copy of the presentation slides. But to the best of my knowledge, I'm not sure what the latest update on on-bill financing for the residential sector is for PG&E Whole House. We do, like I said, we do have questions about enrollment and the job submission process, which we'll discuss later on in the presentation. And before we move on, I do want to just address how a contractor gets listed on this participation list on the statewide energyupgradeca.org website. As a participating contractor or rater, you get access to this list and you get listed as a participating contractor or rater once you fulfill the enrollment requirements for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. So after you receive your email from Contractor Services confirming your participation in the program, you'll receive a separate email from the managers of the statewide website, energyupgradeca.org, instructing you to update your directory profile and confirm some of the information that we've submitted to them. And once you do that, typically within 48 hours, the listing is updated and your company is listed as a participating contractor or rater. There is another question specifically about HERS raters through CalCerts, if they can perform tests and participate as a rater for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. We will be talking about a participating rater's role later on in the program, so I will ask you to be patient. We will be discussing raters in the program a little later in the presentation.
Great. And we also, I should mention, we have Kevin back on the line from CalCerts who will be presenting a short presentation right after this one, just to kind of explain a new pathway for raters and contractors. So he's on the line right now, and as there's questions that come up, he can answer those too. So great. Moving on right now. If I can proceed. Okay. So we're going to go over why would you enroll as a contractor or rater, and this is kind of an important question. So why would you kind of shape your business to this program or get involved in this program? Well, the answer to that really is you shouldn't twist your whole business around this program. You know, do it because you're going this way anyway. But essentially, here are the main benefits as a contractor. It's a way to differentiate yourself. Differentiation is a huge thing in any competitive industry, and this gives you a kind of a step up above the guys who are just a truck with receipts in the glove box and not licensed, not professional. You can compete more on quality and not on price. A race on price is a race to the bottom. Bigger job sizes potential with bigger profit margins to these home performance jobs. I've talked to a lot of guys that say that these are their highest margin jobs. That being said, you need to make sure that you're efficient so you don't spend 16 hours processing all the rebate paperwork. So you got to get efficient on that end. But essentially, you can reduce the seasonality to your business somewhat. Fewer customer callbacks, training for employees to increase professionalism and reduce turnover. Employees get excited about this stuff. Homeowners are excited. It's really where the industry is going. So here are some of the benefits to you. Lead generation is another benefit that this program can provide, but I wouldn't wait for the phone to ring, because really, the utility rebate program was not engineered to be mainly a lead generation device, although that is a benefit. So now that you've seen what what homeowners are being offered, think about what's in it for you. And the next series of slides will talk about the market support that you can expect from the program. But first, we're going to go onto the raters. The program benefits to raters are similar in some ways. Really, the main one is about expanding your professional service offerings. So instead of just doing the front end of the job, you can kind of manage the whole process with the client, work with the contractor, process the paperwork, and upsell more services to your offering. You can develop your own projects directly with the clients, manage that submission process, again, reduce some of the seasonality to your business, and help develop better, more systems-based scopes of work. So those are some of the benefits to raters. We'll be talking more about that, as Melina mentioned, and Kevin will be talking more about that too. So here's some of the market support. As part of this program, once you become a participant and you're approved, you get access to a resource library, excuse me, which has a number of marketing collateral pieces, including fact sheets shown at the left, brochures, and I think that's shown at the right, and all sorts of other materials. And these can be downloaded for you to print on your own. And then we also supply print ads and door hangers. So these are also available. The door hangers are cool, and we provide a print file that you can go and print. And sometimes we get funding for giving away free ones. But those are always nice. And here's a summary of the resource library. It contains brochures, fact sheets, lawn signs. I'm not sure if it still contains the lawn sign, so that might be outdated, but it contains logos, talking points, marketing guidelines, marketing terms, and these are all available on that statewide website. So once you become a participating rater or contractor, you will get a username and password. And the rater one is currently under development. So some of the logos haven't been updated for the raters because there's a transition in place, and that will be launched shortly. The Energy Upgrade California Resource Library, this is kind of what it looks like when you log in as a contractor. And you can kind of dig down and figure out what resources you want. Feel free to contact us if you want to get access to the stuff, because it's not the most intuitive folder system. I've used it. So call us if you have questions about what you want to find, and we'll help orient you to that whole section. Here are the logos available. You can put these on your business cards, on your website, on your promotional materials. Be sure to read the co-branding guidelines, because you need to make sure that you, excuse me, that you adopt those guidelines and make sure that you don't, that you use those logos appropriately. So the opportunity here really is to associate yourself with a large statewide initiative and associate your company with that and leverage that to help grow your business. Here are the comprehension questions for this section. You should be able to talk to the benefits of Energy Upgrade California. You should have a sense of how to get listed on the statewide web portal. You should have a broad sense of the marketing resources available and how you get access to them. And Melina is going to walk us through some of the participating snapshots of some of the contractors in our program and how they're doing.
So as Matt said, we'll discuss some of the examples of successful business models. Then we'll highlight a few contractors that have integrated home performance into their existing business models pretty well. Before we do that, I'd just like to discuss some of the program statistics for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. These statistics are actually as of the end of the year, so the little note on the bottom that says as of July 30th, it hasn't been updated. So as of the end of 2012, we had approximately 250 program participants. This includes participating contractors and participating raters, but it's mostly contractors in the program right now. We have over 4,500 jobs in the pipeline, with over 3,500 jobs approved for a rebate through our program. The average advanced job cost hovers around $15,000, and the average basic job cost is about $5,000. Through the end of last year, the average energy savings was about 32%. So these are some interesting overall statistics for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. Every utility and every municipality that's operating under Energy Upgrade California has slightly different statistics, but this is interesting to note. Here in PG&E territory, we have hardly, over 250 program participants. So if you're interested in participating, there is room for your company. We do want to start by highlighting participating contractors in PG&E territory. We'll start with ABC Cooling and Heating in Fresno. This company was primarily an HVAC contractor, and they began participating in the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program primarily because they were really just operating in the summer and in the winter installing broken systems, and they really wanted to expand their business. So they established a home performance division, and this was in November of 2011, and they were able to make it really successful. They reached out to their existing customers by utilizing these maintenance agreements that they had with customers, and they introduced them to home performance, and they started replacing systems that weren't broken. In addition, they were able to reduce the seasonality of their work, and they started receiving fewer callbacks because those customers were now more comfortable in their home. The one thing I do want to highlight is this company didn't have to change very much. They're still ABC Cooling and Heating. They're still in Fresno. What they did was they succeeded in leveraging their existing customer base and expand into that home performance market using the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. The next participating contractor we'd like to feature is Brower Mechanical. This is another HVAC company that was interested in home performance primarily to improve the comfort of people's homes. And as a result of participating in 2011, they had one of their busiest months in their company's history. It was shortly after they started participating. They found that the incentives for this program are really helpful in promoting home performance, especially in validating the kind of upgrades that they as a home performance contractor proposed. And this is an interesting case study because one of their busiest months was in 2011 when many companies were feeling the effects of the economic downturn as a result of decrease in the construction industry and just a lack of interest in upgrades from homeowners. The next participating contractor we'll feature is Advanced Home Energy. This is primarily an insulation and weatherization company that expanded into home performance to avoid being what is sometimes called a low-cost bidder. This company really benefited from the added value of those energy improvements that were realized by their homeowners. And they've been able to expand their crew size and the overall size of their job as well. They started reaching out to homeowner associations when they first started in the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. And that was one of the ways they became successful in this program. The picture in the bottom right-hand corner is of the company owner reaching out to the Rossmore Residents Association. It's a homeowners association in a small, I think it's like a retirement community. And that was really successful for them in generating job volume, and it was good for us because we were able to use all of those residents to meet our goals. The next participating contractor we'll feature is Hartman & Baldwin. This is a remodeler that was inspired to integrate building science principles into their work. They offer clients room additions and lower utility bills, sometimes even without replacing any of the equipment, simply by calculating loads efficiently and delivering air to the home really effectively. This is an example of utilizing a homeowner's existing resources to potentially save them money during the remodeling process. Here at Build a Green, we've tried to reach out to real estate professionals more. We've noticed that a significant number of homeowners that are doing these upgrades are doing them during a time of sale or a time when a home is transitioning from one owner to the next. So we're really hoping to expand our marketing to homeowners and get some of those homes to participate in the program. The next contractor we'll feature is Green Home Solutions by Drewby. This is they were primarily a new home builder, and I guess I should say they still are, but they created a division for improving efficiency of existing homes when their new construction sort of declined. And they utilized this rebate program to educate homeowners on the benefits of upgrading a home, and they've been able to find success as a result. They improve the knowledge base of their construction staff, which is one of the goals of Energy Upgrade California. And most importantly, they've been able to stay relevant in a really tough economy. In 2006, they launched a zero energy community. It wasn't shortly after that they opened up Green Home Solutions and started working on existing homes when the market for new homes really took a turn. And then the last contractor company that we'll feature is sort of a collaboration of many contractors. It's called Energy Centrics. It's a partnership of several different companies, including insulation, HVAC, plumbing, renewables, and it's kind of an opportunity for where, well, it's an example of contractors pooling their marketing funds to better service homeowners in their area. It's a really unique business model. We don't have very many of these in the program. I think it was started by an insulation company, and they've been able to reach out to a wide range of homeowners and offer this rebate program to many more people than they could alone. So to conclude, I do want to emphasize that this rebate program can serve as a tool for increasing volume of jobs, but it really depends on how well a company can integrate it into their business model or into a new business model. This rebate program was recently extended to the 2013 and 2014 program term, but it's important for you as a contractor to really make the decision to participate in the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program that's not based solely on rebates. So Matt mentioned that the CPUC and the Energy Commission have all expressed an interest in extending the program for 5 or 10 years, and the utilities have already also committed to extending the program in the future. But do make sure that you participate in this program because it makes really good business sense. It makes sense for your company to not only expand into home performance, but to offer rebates to your homeowners and to your clients. There are some comprehension questions we'd like you to take a moment to review. They are pretty simple, but we'll pause now and I'll check in with Matt regarding any outstanding questions. Great, so now that you've had a moment to review the comprehension questions, there have been a couple of questions submitted through the GoToWebinar questions pane. Matt, do you want to read them out loud?
Sure, yeah. Is there any limit as to what the contractor can offer the customer under the EU umbrella? E.g., can a contractor offer home energy monitoring, security systems, solar?
Yeah, that's a great question. So under Energy Upgrade California, for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program, because remember, we're the administrators of that rebate program, there are approved measures for the advanced package, and those can be found on the participant handbook, which is on our document library. We'll show you the link to the program portal in a moment, but our website is builditgreenutility.org. Under the document library, you can find the participant handbook, and we have a list of approved measures for the advanced and the basic. The short answer is, yeah, there's a limit. Yes, there's a limit. For example, renewables are not included in the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. That's mostly because PG&E has a separate rebate program for solar. You, as a participating contractor, develop that scope of work with the homeowner, and you have and you can offer a range of services to them. However, the homeowner can only get rebated for approved measures, and the list of approved measures for the advanced package is listed on the participant handbook. Once again, that website is builditgreenutility.org. Select Document Library, and then you can download the participant handbook. I hope that answered the question.
Yeah, I think it did. I mean, you can do anything you want, but it's not necessarily something you're going to get rebated for. So solar and security systems, none of that will be a part of the rebates. So you'll have to treat it slightly different. I hope that answered your question.
Mm-hmm.
That's all for now, so we can keep moving, I think.
Great. So in the second part of this presentation, we're going to cover the rebate program scope. We're going to talk about the enrollment process and the requirements for participating contractors and raters. We're going to take a moment to review the job reporting and rebate application steps. And then we're going to touch on field mentoring and quality assurance. We also briefly discussed local opportunities and incentives. Some of those local opportunities and incentives have changed as federal funding has sort of dried up. So just be aware that there are local opportunities and incentives in certain counties and in certain cities. The best way to find information on that is to visit the statewide website, energyupgradesca.org.
I can do it.
So Matt is going to take us through the rebate program scope.
Thanks, Melina. So we kind of mentioned this, I think, in an earlier slide. This is the same slide, but we wanted to recap here since this is where we're talking about eligibility and scope of the rebates. PG&E gas or electric customer is what we require. No propane. Homeowners in the overlapping utility territories receive a prorated rebate. So contact us if that applies to you. Contact us before you submit the job. That would be better. Or if you have a lead, then that's the time to contact us. Single-family detached and 2 to 4 unit residences. Existing homes, not new construction. Property owners do not need to reside in the home. So as we kind of just alluded to, we do not, in this rebate program, we do not cover new homes, commercial and multifamily properties. A word on that in a second. Single measures such as HVAC replacement only, unless you can meet the minimum 10% required energy savings from that. And then water efficiency and solar are not included as well. And we throw around this word double dipping. What that means is that you can't collect two rebates from PG&E for the same improvement. So we go back and if you got an HVAC rebate a while back for a homeowner, or if the homeowner got that, you can't go ahead and replace that HVAC unit and include it as part of this rebate program too. So that's what double dipping refers to. On the multifamily thing, someone asked about the multifamily. I just wanted to say a word on that. We are launching a multifamily program in 2014. 2014 officially is when the main program will launch. 2013, we're running a pilot program right now. So that's kind of where it stands. It's just ramping up. So that's exciting. Contact us if you have more questions. The basic upgrade package looks like this. It's like kind of a menu of items, and you have to do all of them to get the $1,000. So air sealing to this program standard, attic insulation, duct sealing, those are kind of the core measures. And then hot water pipe insulation, combustion appliance safety. Combustion appliance safety applies to all homes in our program, so just be aware of that. Also, carbon monoxide monitors do as well. And then thermostatic control valves and low-flow shower heads are recommended but not required. So let us know if you have any questions about that, but that should be fairly self-explanatory. The advanced upgrade package looks a little bit different. First, you complete a test and assessment and determine the baseline conditions. Then you select a combination of measures that that you hope will achieve 10 to 45% energy savings. We recommend you complete all the basic package first, the basic package measures, and then add some of the advanced measures on top of that, but you're free to do it the way you like, that you think you can meet that 10 to 45%, as long as they're on our approved list of measures. And then you conduct a test-out assessment and confirm your energy savings and the rebate amount. So, so I hope that makes sense. Anything that can be modeled in Energy Pro is fair game for that, for those savings, for the most part, right, Melina?
Say it again?
Anything that can be modeled in Energy Pro?
Yes and no. There's some limitations, like I think there's a way to model. Oh no, there isn't a way to model certain upgrades. Questions really specific to modeling can be submitted to us via email, or you can call us. Our contact information will appear on one of the final slides, and you'll get a copy of the slide deck in a follow-up email. So anything that you have a specific question on, especially with modeling, you can submit to us, and we'll handle them on a case-by-case basis.
Great, thanks, Melina. So some other incentives that have been around are HERS 2 ratings and trainings, local government rebates, water rebates, green labeling, appliances, and federal tax credits. So these may or may not apply depending on where you are. Some of them were associated with the American Recovery and Reinvestment Act in 2008, and that kind of twilighted, and most of those funds have been dispersed by now. But you might want to check in your local area. If you are interested in those, I would contact your local sustainability office or county or city representatives and just ask them. You can also go to the statewide website, energyupgradeca.org, and click on your county, and you may find things there. But I would personally reach out and do some investigation, because if you have other rebates that can apply, you might want to, you can layer them on top of each other, so you can get more rebates for your homeowners. So here are the comprehension questions for this section. Should be able to kind of know these by now, or at least know where to find them. And with that, we'll go to any questions on scope, program scope.
Yes, we have a question. So does this program cover lighting upgrades? So lighting upgrades lighting is an approved measure for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. However, it's got to be high efficacy lighting and it's got to be pin-based. So in Energy Pro, you'd model it as high efficacy. And in your job scope, you would list the pin-based lighting. If you're only doing lighting, I'm not sure if you can reach the minimum 10% energy savings for the advanced package with lighting alone. And then you should also consider that this is the whole house rebate program. So most homeowners and contractors that participate do a series of upgrades to not only meet the minimum 10% modeled energy savings, but also because they utilize a whole house approach, and they don't typically just do one upgrade. So lighting is approved for PG&E Whole House. However, it's got to be high efficacy and pin-based. That isn't a decision that we made. It's really a statewide approved measure that's, I think, consistent in the investor-owned utilities like PG&E, like SoCalGas and SoCal Edison. So you can model high efficacy lighting for the program. We do have a question about starting the webinar and having access to the slides. You will have access to the slide deck after the presentation. You'll receive a follow-up email with a copy of the slides attached, or a link to the slides available on our program portal. And I got a follow-up question about high efficacy. High efficacy is defined, I think, by the Energy Commission. I'll have to get back to you on the exact definition. I don't think high efficacy is equal to Energy Star, but I'll include information on high efficacy in the follow-up email to participants on the line.
Great. Any more questions, Melina?
That's it for the moment.
Okay. So I think that so we're in the second half of the presentation now. We're talking about the how you get enrolled in the program and how you submit your rebate application. So these are all the how questions, and I think Melina is going to kick it off with the enrollment section here. Okay.
Great. So now we'll follow up with the enrollment process for participating contractors and participating raters. So the enrollment process is really summarized in these 5 steps. We're going to go through each one of these steps in detail now. Step 1 is the attendance of the mandatory participation workshop. So congratulations, you are already on your way to becoming an Energy Upgrade California program participant for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. Step 2 is to meet the eligibility requirements. So the eligibility requirements are a little different for contractors and for raters. And then for contractors, the requirements are a little different based on some of your certifications. So participating contractors with a B license can offer advanced and basic upgrade packages to their homeowners. Contractors without a B license can substitute a combination of a C2 and C20 license. That's a combination of the insulation and HVAC licenses to offer only the basic upgrade package to homeowners. Unfortunately, you need a Class B license to participate in the advanced. Raters do not require a CSLB or a Contractor State License Board license. They just need to be a HERS rater and be BPI certified. That brings up another enrollment requirement. So we do ask that professionals that complete the combustion appliance safety testing be BPI certified, so be certified by the Building Performance Institute. We'll discuss some of those requirements shortly. But this table can be reviewed at a later time. The slides will be sent out to you guys after the presentation. We'll move on to the contractor license requirements. As I stated before, the Class B general building license is required to offer advanced upgrade packages. Contractors without a B license can substitute a C2 and a C20 license. Raters do not need to be licensed. They'll likely collaborate with a contractor to offer these rebates to homeowners. There are insurance requirements for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. They are pretty standard from what I understand. Commercial general liability and automotive liability if you have a business vehicle, and then workers' compensation if you have employees. There is also a work experience requirement of 2 years. You can provide financial information for the past 2 years or a history of a California State License Board license to contractor services when you enroll. We are able to accommodate for new businesses or for startups as long as you are BPI accredited. So if you're an accredited company with the Building Performance Institute, if you have 2 professional references, and you have 2 years of similar work experience. There is also an agreement to the program terms and conditions. The most important term and condition is that no employee, consultant, or subcontractor with access to customer homes has been convicted within the last 7 years of these, well, not all of them are felonies, but of the list of crimes here on this slide. There haven't been much updates to these program terms and conditions, but this is typically the one that we get the most questions about. Step 3 is to begin the enrollment application process. So once you've reviewed the terms and conditions and you're ready to enroll, you would visit our program portal, buildagreenutility.org, and you would click on the All Contractors or All Raters Manage Account and Enroll button. You'd complete the enrollment process online, and you'd contact us with any questions. Here is a picture of our program portal with the All Contractors and All Raters enrollment buttons circled off to the right. Here is a screenshot of the login page. New users would log in on the right of the screen by entering their email address and their password twice. You are welcome to start your application and save it and return it at a later time by logging in on the returning member side of the screen, which is off to the left, by entering your username and your password. Here is a brief checklist for contractors and raters interested in enrolling in the program. This slide deck will be sent out to participants, so don't worry about writing these things down, but it does include things like signing a participation agreement, submitting copies of your certifications to us for our reference, submitting certificates of insurance, and authorizing background checks for your employees, for yourself and your employees. The enrollment application process is pretty simple. You submit your documentations and you're either approved or denied. You are notified of your status, and if you ever have questions, you can contact our Contractor Services Department by calling them directly or emailing enrollment@buildagreenutility.org. Access to those enrollment files are limited to the administrators, and that includes Build a Green, PG&E, and EGIA, the Electric and Gas Industries Association. They help us with contractor enrollment and rebate processing. Once again, representatives are available for questions at the telephone number listed below. You are welcome to email us at enrollment@buildagreenutility.org if you have questions about the enrollment process. Step 4 is to take the required trainings and the certifications. So the trainings and certifications are a little different depending on your professional background. The main difference is that a BPI building analyst or a BPI certified professional completing the combustion appliance safety testing for the advanced upgrade package has to be on staff. So if you are an advanced upgrade package contractor, that BPI building professional has to be on staff and has to be the one completing the combustion appliance safety testing. You can sub that out, but it's got to be subbed out to other BPI analysts or BPI certified professionals, and you still have to have that one BPI building analyst on staff. Contractors operating under the basic upgrade package can sub that out. They do not need a BPI analyst on staff, but they can only offer the basic upgrade package. Those BPI professionals completing the combustion appliance safety testing also have to take the advanced package technical training, which we'll discuss in detail shortly. The basic upgrade package technical training is a free 3-day classroom and field training. It does provide an overview of building science and the home performance approach. We do offer classroom and hands-on field instruction, and we do expect non-BPI certified participants in the program, so this would be your lead installers and your project supervisors, to take the basic technical training. It's sort of an introduction to the advanced building performance training that we'll discuss in the next slide, but it is really just a good general overview of building science principles. The Advanced Upgrade Package Technical Training is a one-day workshop. This is required for all professionals completing the combustion appliance safety testing. It's an augmented BPI combustion appliance safety procedure and action guidelines. So these are duct test procedures that are not covered in the BPI building analyst training, in addition to some policies that were taken from the natural gas appliance testing protocols. We'll mention that a little. We'll mention some more of that a little later in the presentation. But again, it is required for all the building performance analysts completing the combustion appliance safety testing. Participating raters in the program will need to be certified raters, but also BPI analysts or BPI certified professionals. Advanced contractors need to have a BPI analyst or BPI certified professional on staff. And then basic package contractors do not need to have a BPI certified professional on staff, but they can only complete the basic upgrade package. We have mentioned BPI a couple of times. BPI is the Building Performance Institute. They're a professional certification provider. They offer 8 professional certifications. They accredit companies and certified professionals. If you're interested in learning more, you can visit their website, bpi.org. And there are California-based BPI training providers. CalCerts is the one that comes to mind. We are a training provider, but we don't actually administer exams. And there are many others in California if you're interested in training opportunities. Step 5 is the approval process, and after all of steps 1 and 4 have been completed, you as a program participant are provided with a username and a password to the statewide energyupgradesca.org website. You are given access to the marketing materials that Matt discussed earlier on in the presentation, as well as other resources on that statewide website. You will also receive a separate email from us, Build It Green, with a login to Green Energy Compass, which is a job submission portal we use for PG&E Whole House. There are some notes for participating raters. So participating raters will be emailed a rater contractor collaboration form. This is just to notify us that you as a rater are collaborating with a contractor to process jobs for the rebate program. You as a participating rater can work with more than one participating contractor, but we do like to have formal notification that contractors and raters are working together. It also helps us know and understand better how jobs for that company are being submitted. There are some comprehension questions for this section. Please take a moment to review the questions. I'll pause now to check in with Matt regarding questions. Great, so we will review some of the questions submitted during this portion of the presentation before we move on to the job submission and rebate processing section.
Okay, a few questions we have. Is Title 24 requirements covered by your rebates? Or yeah.
Title 24 is sort of a separate, from PG&E Whole House. So for the purposes of the program, we expect contractors to be licensed. We expect them to follow building code in their local jurisdiction, but we are not enforcing Title 24. So I'm not sure if that answers your question. It may deserve a conversation offline. We'll have our phone number up in a moment. You can contact us directly. But once again, PG&E Whole House is not directly related to Title 24. We're not checking for Title 24 requirements, but we are operating under good faith that you, as a contractor or rater, are properly licensed, properly certified, and doing the work that you are certified to do. It's part of the enrollment process. And we expect all of our contractors and raters approved for the program to be following appropriate health and safety guidelines, as well as following code for their local jurisdiction and the state of California.
Great. Another question, how does a CalCert certified HERS 2 rater fit into this program?
So we will be discussing the role of a rater a little later in the presentation. I will say that we do have raters participating in the program, and they collaborate with participating contractors to offer these rebates to homeowners. We've received calls from homeowners who aren't as eager to contact participating contractors, or at least they're not at a stage in their upgrade to contact a contractor yet, and they prefer working with a rater. And so we are excited that we've expanded the program to include raters, and raters can be that first contact with homeowners interested in the rebate program and can collaborate with participating contractors to get their clients rebates through this program. As a rater, you would manage the job submission process on behalf of the contractor. You could complete the assessments for test in and test out. And we'll discuss the role of a rater versus the role of a contractor later on in the presentation. You are also welcome to give us a call during the enrollment process. Our colleague Torsten Glidden has been working very closely with the participating raters that enroll in the program to get them really clear on the expectations and their role as a rater in the program. So we'll have our contact information up shortly, and you can contact us again if you have more questions. Anything else?
A couple more questions. Where are the trainings offered?
Okay, so the basic training is held in Stockton, California, so it's the PG&E Energy Training Center up in Stockton. We have it up there because Stockton's PG&E Center has a training center. So on day 2 and day 3, it's primarily day 3, we go out into that test house and we do the duct blaster test, the blower door test, and we can walk you through an assessment, a typical assessment for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. So the basic training is up in Stockton. The advanced training has historically been either in Stockton or at the San Francisco Training Center. These are both PG&E training centers. The advanced training in February is scheduled in Stockton. I don't know if we're going to be offering where else we will be offering those, but they are primarily held in Stockton at PG&E's Energy Training Center.
Great. There's also, actually, I should mention, advanced training in 2 days in Stockton. So.
Oh, is it this week?
Yeah.
Great.
Just in 2 days. So give us a call if you want to get on that, because that's part of the enrollment process. If you want to knock that one out.
Yeah, if you're ready for the advanced training, we actually have it on our events calendar. We'll do our best to finish early so that we can walk you through the program portal website. It's buildagreenutility.org. When you visit that website, we have an events menu page or an events page. You can click on events and then click on the advanced training to register. Any others?
I think we're good, yeah.
Great. So we're going to go through the job submission and rebate processing section of the presentation next. The job submission process is described here on this slide in 6 steps. We'll go through each one of them individually now. I should have mentioned that there's a lot of information in this section, so get your pen and your paper ready. We are available for questions after this presentation. We'll have our contact information up, but this is a really intense section, so I'll try not to go too fast. Step 1 is a test-in site assessment. This is where the participating contractor or the participating rater interviews the homeowner or the occupant and discusses the proposed scope of work. Ideally, you would collect utility bill information. This at the moment is highly recommended but not required. You would collect job data that you would eventually submit to us as part of the application. You'd perform the diagnostic tests like the blower door and the duct blaster test, as well as the CAS test, the combustion appliance safety test. Remember, those CAS tests have to be performed by a BPI certified professional. Many of the professionals operating in this program are building analysts certified by BPI. You would also be responsible for developing that Energy Pro model for advanced jobs. So all of the job data that you collect would go into this model. You would be responsible for completing the data collection requirements. We'll discuss those in a bit. And you would then discuss that assessment and refine a scope of work with the homeowner. We will take a moment to address combustion appliance safety testing. Safety is a big concern for PG&E and for Build It Green. It's one of the reasons we require BPI certification for the professionals completing combustion appliance safety tests. Those tests should be completed at test in and at test out, so this is before and after the work is completed. And those tests should be completed each day that air sealing or duct sealing work is conducted, so anytime the airflow in the building is changed. Combustion appliance safety testing is required for basic and advanced upgrade packages. And the PG&E requirement is the combustion appliance safety protocols. These are protocols that are mostly BPI, but they're augmented with NGAT standards, natural gas appliance testing standards. We have the PG&E gas service representative phone number up at the top for reference. But anytime you encountered a gas leak or a combustion appliance safety issue, you would call PG&E for a GSR, a gas service representative. There is also a special note for energy modeling software. The accepted energy modeling software for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program is Energy Pro version 5.1, and you can purchase the software through EnergySoft. You would need the residential performance module to complete the modeling requirements for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. So that would mean you would get the interface, which is sometimes abbreviated IM1, and then the residential performance module, which is RM4. The approximate cost of the interface in the module, I think, is $500. The modeling should be performed by a trained and proficient energy modeler on staff or subcontracted. HERS raters are trained in the use of Energy Pro, and that's a great alternative for contractors interested in collaborating with raters. One final special note on the scope of work development. Participating raters in this program are capable of identifying those best energy efficiency measures for the home. They also can compile the ideal combination of measures for a homeowner or an occupant. And they should collaborate with participating contractors and the homeowner or the customer on crafting that scope of work. The participating contractors, on the other hand, really are the ones to determine the feasibility of that scope of work and to execute a customer-signed contract scope of work with the client. Step 2 of the job submission process is what we call the pre-installation application. You can think of it as sort of the test-in application. Once you collect all of the job data during your assessment, you would log into Green Energy Compass, which is accessed through the program portal, and you would submit the required documentation, which we'll review on the next slide. Raters are also required to submit a rater job submission notification form, just letting us know that you are submitting the job on behalf of a rater that you're collaborating with. And then that application undergoes a quality assurance desktop review. This includes a technical review of the job, where we look at the scope of work, we examine the baseline conditions, we make sure that the model makes sense. In addition, it undergoes an administrative review, where we verify the PG&E account, we make sure that the building performance analyst that completed the CAS testing is certified and that their certification is valid. And we also check for double dipping. Remember, double dipping is where a homeowner is paid twice for the same rebate. PG&E will not pay a homeowner twice for the same rebate. So we haven't had this happen, but PG&E will likely deduct the rebate that's been recently issued if it's included again in the whole house rebate scope of work. Once the technical and administrative reviews have been completed on the application, a notice to proceed is issued by Quality Assurance Admin. That notice to proceed is sort of your reservation of rebate funds, and it means you can start the work. The pre-installation data collection requirements are summarized on this slide. The documents required for the submission are available on our program portal. You can visit builditgreenutility.org and then select Resources, Document Library to download documents for the job submission process. The big difference between the Advanced Upgrade Package and Basic Upgrade Package job submission requirements is that the job data collection form is required for Basic but not for Advanced, and that modeling is required for Advanced but not Basic. Just remember, a copy of these slides will be sent to you after the presentation. But once again, the modeling is required for Advanced and it's not for Basic, and the job data collection form is required for Basic and not Advanced. In some cases, we ask for supplemental information. We always ask for utility bill data, but it's not required. Sometimes there are anomalies in the building that we ask for photos just to document. And then we ask for permits if the local jurisdiction requires them. Step 3 is to perform the work. So contractor signs a contract with the homeowner. They pull all the necessary permits, and they complete the installation measures per the approved scope of work. And if the scope of work changes, that's fine. You'll just notify us on the full application or the test out application that the scope of work is changed. Ideally, you would submit either a revised signed contract or a signed change order, and you'd update the Energy Pro model with the newest installation measures. Step 4 is what we call that test out application or the full application. You would, before you do that, you would complete the diagnostic verification test at the home. So after you've installed the measures, you would redo the blower door air infiltration test, you'd redo the duct leakage test, you'd complete the combustion appliance safety testing. Once again, that has to be performed by the Building Performance Institute certified professional. Many of the ones approved for this program are building analysts. You would update the Energy Pro model with the test out results, and you complete the data collection reform requirements for that full application. Step 5 is to submit that job data to us in Green Energy Compass. You would, if you're a rater, you would submit an additional job submission notification form. It's just an additional form that notifies us that you're submitting the job on behalf of the contractor. And once again, that application would undergo a technical, an admin review, where we would review the combustion appliance safety results, testing results. We would review the model. We check for the required documentation, like the Energy Pro model, the building permit, if there was one required. And then the final check we do is a combustion appliance safety check. It's a phone call to a homeowner to confirm that CAS testing was done. We've actually just phased that out and introduced something called a Combustion Appliance Safety Test Acknowledgement Form, or a CASTA form. This is just a form that we ask contractors and raters to get homeowners to sign so that they acknowledge that these combustion appliance tests have been completed. Once that application is submitted, a rebate approval is issued and reviewed. A rebate approval is issued by Quality Assurance Admin. The post-installation or test-out application data collection requirements are summarized on this slide. Once again, the basic difference is that the basic, well, I probably shouldn't have said basic. The main differences between the basic upgrade package and the advanced upgrade package is that a data collection form is required for basic, not for advanced, and Energy Pro modeling is required for advanced and not basic. Documents required for the applications are available at builditgreenutility.org. Select Resources, then select Document Library to download the data collection forms and the test measurements form. All the other forms you supply, like the Energy Pro model, the XML, the scope of work, or the signed contract. But the other forms, the data collection form and the test measurements form, are available in the document library. Step 6 is the rebate issuance. So rebate checks are sent to the homeowners. They are currently not sent to participating contractors or raters. Homes that participate in the program are eligible for field verification. So homeowners, when you supply the email address of the homeowner, are emailed a survey where we ask them to provide feedback on not only their experience on the program, but their experience with the participating contractor or rater, as well as with any kind of admin staff. And then homeowners can be contacted by either Build It Green representatives or PG&E representatives from their central inspection program to undergo field verification. Some jobs may be selected for review. Homeowners don't need to participate in the field verification, but some of them do get called and asked if PG&E or Build It Green can go out and redo some of the combustion appliance safety tests and verify some of the work that was performed. Customer service representatives are available for questions regarding rebates, regarding the program, or regarding field QA. Our phone number and email address are at the bottom of this slide. We do offer some tips for streamlining the job submission process. It is really a good idea to read and follow all of the directions. So really try and complete all the data collection form requirements. So don't leave any fields blank. Don't submit blank forms. Really check the data that you're uploading to our job submission tool, Green Energy Compass. It has happened before that contractors upload forms for a completely different job. And because the technical review of some of these applications can be really time-consuming, and there is a lot of detail that we look for, we could miss something. So don't rely on us to make sure that all of the forms are accurate, complete. If they're not, we'll return them and ask you to resubmit the documents. Make sure you're accurately modeling all building features in Energy Pro. Although utility bill history is highly recommended, it is not required at this moment. Take pictures whenever you see something out of the ordinary. Whenever you're claiming kind of really interesting building features, make sure to submit pictures. Sometimes we'll ask for additional documentation. For example, when you're installing windows and you're claiming certain U factors or solar heat gain coefficients, we'll ask you to submit a spec sheet with that information. Provide job notes or sketches for any kind of unique building features. So for example, if you tell us that there was no HVAC system, sometimes submitting a picture is really useful. Or if you say that a duct is disconnected, let us know by taking a picture and submitting it with your job application. Finally, double check work before submitting. It is really a good idea to make sure that the incentive applied in Green Energy Compass is the incentive that you are expecting to get your homeowner. Otherwise, you need to modify the application or call us if you're having technical difficulties. There are some comprehension questions listed on this slide for your review. I'll pause for a moment and check in with Matt regarding questions. Take your time. So Matt, please take us through the questions.
Okay. So there is a question about PG&E supplying the electrical in an area and SoCal supplying the gas in that area, and wanting to know what the rebate would be and how to provide that or predict that for customers. Okay.
So the current agreement between Pacific Gas and Electric and Southern California Edison is that PG&E will honor 50% of the eligible PG&E whole house rebate. So that means a homeowner in SoCal Gas territory who reaches the 40% tier would be qualified for a PG&E whole house rebate of $4,000. The arrangement between PG&E and Southern California Gas is that PG&E will pay half of that. So the rebate that we would process is $2,000. That's much easier than the prorated calculations we have in other overlapping territories. The prorated calculation in other areas is not the same. It's not a 50-50 split, and that prorated calculation is really just the savings associated with the PG&E utility over the total savings, and that's just a ratio. So you can do that calculation on your own, and when you get that ratio, multiply it by the incentive tier for that energy savings percentage, and you'll get the prorated rebate. But for SoCal Gas in particular, the arrangement between PG&E and SoCal Gas is 50% at the moment.
Yeah, and just set your expectations with homeowners cautiously. Don't try to promise the exact amounts until you know. We have some of our more experienced contractors wait until they promise exact amounts. They might give them a range at first.
Yeah, and if you ever have a question about a specific job, you are able to upload Energy Pro files to Green Energy Compass and have the software calculate a rebate on your behalf. If you have questions on how to do that, we can walk you through the process over the phone. We'll have our contact information up once again at the end of the presentation.
Great. Few other questions. So using Energy Pro to model an assessment, does the EUC program require a HERS score at test in, test out?
No, HERS scores are not required for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. HERS testing is not required for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. During the job submission process, you'll be asked for combustion appliance safety test results, which are and should be completed by a BPI certified professional, but no HERS testing and no HERS score is required for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program.
Great. So you can provide a HERS assessment if you'd like.
That's right. Yeah, but we don't need it.
Required.
Yeah, for the program, we don't need the HERS assessment, but you as a HERS rater can complete that assessment and submit it to your client, but we don't need it to process an application or rebate for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program.
Right. So another question, who owns the BLD files? If PG&E, then can a rater provide the file to several contractors, or must the home performance contractor get it from the Energy Upgrade California PG&E staff?
That is a great question. Who owns a BLD file? It is one that we have come across a couple of times, and it's kind of tricky. Contractors and raters sign an agreement to collaborate with one another. We are not authorized to share those files that we collect for the job submission process on anyone's behalf. So those files that we have to process the rebate, they are not ours to distribute. That doesn't really answer the question, but contractors and raters that collaborate with each other set expectations with themselves and with the homeowner on who can share information. And I don't know what else to say about that. Matt, do you have anything to add?
No, just from our experience, a lot of contractors and raters don't share very freely around. So
well, they're collaborating with each other.
If they collaborate with each other, they are, but I don't have anything directly to add to that.
I will say that the Sacramento Municipal Utility District does have a requirement amongst their participating contractors to share what's called the job reporting template, and to the best of my knowledge, they require this job reporting template to go to the homeowner so the homeowner can get bids from different contractors. That is not something that we have employed in the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. It may be something that we consider in the future, but I'll have to escalate that question to our contract manager for further review. I'll see if I can get an update before the follow-up email goes out. But it is a good question that we don't have full clarification on.
Another good question. These are great questions, guys. Can you explain what's the most common approach to EUC projects that include both energy upgrade items and non-energy related, i.e. drainage systems, rodent concerns, durability items? Do you put these on separate contracts?
If you want. So if you're a participating contractor or rater, you can submit the entire scope of work or signed contract to us that include non-PG&E Whole House approved measures. We're going to look for the stuff that you modeled in your Energy Pro model for that advanced package rebate, and you can include items that aren't on there that aren't approved for the program, like rodent prevention systems. It may be easiest for the quality assurance reviewers to have separate scopes of work. That'll probably help us avoid confusion, but there is no requirement at the moment to have separate scopes of work. So if you're doing multiple items and upgrades and some of them aren't approved for this program, we'll just make sure, or what we do is we check that list against what's in your Energy Pro model. And as long as what you model is on your scope of work, then we should have no problem. And your application should be approved for processing.
Great. Another question is, how can a contractor or rater confirm that for the homeowner that a rebate check was sent to them or is actually being processed? Does the EUC staff send the contractor or rater a receipt of submission or status on the rebate check?
What happens for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program is once an application is approved and sent to PG&E for processing, a rebate approval email is sent to a participating contractor with the details of the rebate. So it'll have the rebate amount, it'll have the homeowner address, and then we follow up with an email when the check is actually issued and sent. We don't actually have a lot of correspondence with your clients or your potential clients. We correspond with homeowners whenever they give us a call, but we don't send rebate notifications to homeowners. We send notifications to contractors when the application is submitted to PG&E for processing, and once again when the check is issued. Homeowners and contractors and raters can always give us a call directly. We have the ability to provide updates on check information if the check has been mailed. Otherwise, checks are typically processed 6 to 8 weeks after the application is submitted to PG&E for processing.
Great. Another question. It sounds like a CalCerts HERS2 rater will need to go through the BPI BA training for further certification. Is that correct? Yes, is the short answer.
Yes, that's correct. So if you are a HERS2 rater and you want to participate in the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program as a participating rater, you will need to be BPI certified. So you'll need to be certified with the Building Performance Institute and meet at least their minimum building analyst certification.
Great. A lot of good questions here. Another one about EnergySoft. Hopefully we can answer this. I understand from EnergySoft that the actual utility bill history data that is inputted in the software is not used in developing the energy model or assessment. That is, although there is an input screen for this data, it is not integrated or used in the software. Do you have confirmation that this is not the case?
I do not have confirmation. My understanding was that the utility bill data was used to calibrate the accuracy of the model. But I think if you spoke or corresponded with an EnergySoft representative, you have more information than I do. It's something that we can follow up on. If you'd like to email us directly, I think we can reach out to EnergySoft to receive clarification. We ask for utility bill data because we want to eventually be able to go back to those jobs and be able to tell if there was a reduction in energy use in that home or not. We haven't made that a recommended, we haven't made that a required data input because we're still kind of working out the details with PG&E.
Great. Yeah, I think that's all for now. I think we can move on. Someone asked if they would need the advanced training. I think the answer is yes.
Yeah.
If you're going to be doing those types of jobs.
Yeah, all participating contractors and raters have to take the advanced package technical training. This is where we tell you how to complete the combustion appliance safety tests. We use BPI protocols augmented with natural gas appliance testing protocols, or NGAP standards. And so all participants completing the combustion appliance safety test have to take that advanced training. Okay, so Matt will walk us through the quality assurance section. We're almost done. Thank you very much for your patience, and keep submitting questions. We'll go through them during the breaks in our presentation.
Great. And if there's any clarifications that you have follow-up questions on, just please don't hesitate to drop us an email at any of the contact information when we leave you, and we'll try to get back to you as soon as we can. So quality assurance in this program is really about trusting that you're doing good work, but also verifying just to make sure that homeowners are safe. We come from that angle of trust. We hope that you're doing good work, and we trust that you are. So we start you out when we verify your jobs with that in mind. We're really verifying safety and evaluating the effectiveness of our trainings, and we want to provide you with feedback and support and mentoring throughout this process. So we're committed to, Build It Green is committed to maintaining high standards for consumer protection. as is PG&E. And we want to make sure that the projects are done to a high quality and that the results are verifiable. So we want to build in consumer confidence and maximize the homeowner satisfaction in the process. So that's kind of why we're doing the quality assurance. Multiple consumer protections are in place. We screen contractors and raters and make sure they have the required credentials. As you know, we do background checks. During the desktop review process, we manage and verify energy savings and safety through the combustion appliance safety form. Then we also go spot check certain jobs out in the field to make sure that the work was installed correctly. And finally, we liaise with homeowners and contact them through surveys and through our hotline to make sure that they are satisfied and that they verify combustion appliance safety tests and things like that. So make sure they're having a good experience with the program. So you can make participation in the QA process selling point to your clients, because all of these are things that you should, loops that you have to jump through that you can promote yourself to clients with. That's the positive way of looking at it. So this is the field verification tiering system. Now this is kind of technical. I won't go into too much detail here, but just so you know, and you're going to get these slides afterwards so you can spend a little bit more time on them if you'd like. We start you out at Tier 1. That means that we'll verify 3 out of your first 5 jobs. The next, if you complete those successfully with no serious failures, we will bump you up to Tier 2 and then verify at a rate of 4 of your next 20. And then after that, we'll bump you up to Tier 3 upon completion of those successfully and verify at the following rates. Tier 0 is mainly if you're kind of doing work that's subpar, and in that case we will review 100% of your jobs. So try not to get there, and most contractors don't go there, but just be aware that these are the different tiering systems behind the field verification process. Just wanted to highlight that field mentoring can double as a QA verification visit. And these are available on demand. You just give us a call at the numbers provided after this presentation, and you can set it up once you're an approved contractor, that is. You get 5 free field mentoring sessions at a value of $500, so I encourage you to take advantage of them. Excuse me. And the benefit of this is you can correct any deficiencies identified through the field mentoring before a final pass-fail determination is made. So you're allowed to, we'll work through it with you, and you'll kind of be fast-tracking your job, if you will, to make sure that it passes. That being said, if you really don't know what you're doing out there, we're probably not going to pass you, but that usually doesn't happen. So bring people from your team, make it a learning experience, and some contractors or raters plan to do it on their own houses while they're starting out in the process, just to kind of get their systems down. You know, sometimes this might be awkward in front of a homeowner if the field verifier is teaching you how to do the things in front, but it just depends. Corrective field verification triggers. Application anomalies. So these are the things that trigger us to maybe go out and tag a job for field verification beyond the random sampling that I mentioned. So beyond random sampling, these are the things that we might come out for. If there's anomalies in the paper review, meaning the desktop review job submission, so if we see something that looks off, like numbers don't add up on your duct leakage numbers or your blower door, we might say that looks funny, and we might tag it for field verification. If the customer survey that we do shows that there was no combustion appliance safety test, we do follow up with customers and ask them if the test was done. And so it's up to you to educate the homeowners when you are doing the combustion appliance safety test so that they know. Currently, we're kind of going more towards something else in that regard. We are requiring a combustion appliance safety test form, where you will have the homeowner sign that form to say that you've completed that test. And so that kind of gets around us having to call the homeowner. So we're kind of moving towards that direction. Number 3 on here is if the customer complains against you, we might come out to that job or other jobs in your queue. And I think that's about it. So if there's other outstanding corrective actions, we might come out to some of your other jobs. We hold the right to charge $500 in these cases, but we're currently not doing that. So the field verification and inspection process is such, excuse me, when we come out and do a field verification visit, we'll conduct a visual survey. We'll assess that measures claimed are new to the home. So really what we're doing here is we're verifying what you said you did is what you actually did is what you said you did. So we rerun some of these tests. We compare the quality of the measures with the program standards. We redo the blower door test, the combustion appliance test, and the duct test. And then we'll also review the inputs to your energy model, excuse me, to make sure that it looks right. I mean, so we don't run the whole model, but we'll review the inputs. And then we'll validate the test out results, and we'll prepare a report noting how the measures could have been improved. We're also working towards giving positive feedback, too, if things are done really well. So here's the scoring system for on the job level. So for any particular job, this is what we may or may not find. I won't go over this in detail, but just we are looking out for immediate corrective actions. And you may be asked to correct the failure, if so. Some things like high CO levels found, or things that are not drafting correctly, immediate threats to the homeowner safety. Excuse me. Those things are where immediate corrective action is required, and in those cases, you would fail on the field verification. There's a grade of different severe things here, but call us if you have any questions, and just know that you'll have to correct things if anything's wrong. So the comprehension questions for this section are as follows. We'll pause briefly here if there are any other questions about field verification. So we have some questions, I think. Melina's going to
yeah, we have, I think it's a clarification question on propane. So if PG&E supplies the electricity and the house has propane, is the customer eligible for a rebate? Because that house has propane, that house is not eligible for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. There is a way to, you have the option to remove the propane completely before starting any of the diagnostic tests for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program, but that would probably require a lot of conversation with the homeowner, and it would probably depend on the electricity rate in that area. But propane and the presence of propane on the premises does exclude homes from participating in the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. We have another question: who does the quality assurance for Energy Upgrade California? Once again, we are not Energy Upgrade California. We are PG&E Whole House. More specifically, we are Build It Green, and we administer the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program, which is part of Energy Upgrade California. For PG&E Whole House, Build It Green, in addition to PG&E, complete the quality assurance and quality control for the program. Here at Build It Green, we have several staff members that go out and complete the field verification for homes that participate in the program. We met a 15%, or I believe it may have been as high as 20% last year. We completed field verifications on 20% of the homes that participated. PG&E had a similar field verification rate, and PG&E sends representatives from their central inspection program to go out and visit homeowners that agree to be visited. Homeowners can always decline to participate in the field verifications. I think we probably have a significant number of homeowners that decline. So those are the representatives that perform the quality assurance and quality control for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. Other programs that are operating under Energy Upgrade California have different QA and QC protocols. So once again, those aren't standards for Energy Upgrade California. Those are for PG&E Whole House in particular. The next question is, what are the standards that your program uses to determine quality assurance? Is there a standard for QA that you follow? Yes, there is. We call them the Whole House Action Guidelines, but they are augmented. They're pretty much augmented BPI protocols. So PG&E and representatives here from Build It Green took BPI protocols and augmented them with the Natural Gas Appliance Testing Standards, or NGAT standards. And so they were kind of merged, and we call them the Whole House Action Guidelines. They're mostly BPI protocols, and they've just been augmented with NGAT standards. Then we have a follow-up question regarding HERS testing. You said HERS tests were not required, but HERS diagnostic tests like blower door and duct testing are. Did you mean to say that, did you mean it when you said HERS testing was not required? So I guess you're right. If those diagnostic tests, blower door and duct blaster tests, are specifically HERS diagnostic tests, then we do require those HERS diagnostic tests. We just in general refer to them as blower door and duct blaster tests. They are diagnostic tests that are performed for PG&E Whole House Rebate Program jobs. They're completed in addition to combustion appliance safety tests before and after an upgrade is performed. But a HERS score or a HERS report or a CalCerts report, those sort of things aren't required for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. So once again, diagnostic testing, which includes blower door, duct blaster, and combustion appliance safety testing, are required for PG&E Whole House. You do not need to be a HERS rater to complete those tests. To the best of my knowledge, you don't need to be a HERS rater to complete those tests. We do require that a BPI building analyst or BPI certified professional complete the combustion appliance safety tests, and those tests need to be completed before and after an upgrade. The next question is there a list of contractors needing BPI certified professionals to become part of our staff? That is not a list that we currently hold, and unfortunately I'm not sure if we can connect you with contractors that are looking for BPI professionals to be part of their company. There are contractors that are participating in the program that sub out some of those tests, and you can find those participating contractors in your area by visiting the statewide website, energyupgradesca.org, and then typing in your zip code. You can see the approved participating contractors on that participating contractors list, and you can reach out to them to see if they are hiring or subbing out some of that work. But we don't actually have a list of contractors who need BPI analysts on staff. And then one final question, is there a BPI list of professionals? At the moment, there is a participating contractor list on the statewide website. There is a rater list, and that list I think is managed by CalCerts, but it is a list of raters, and that's also on the statewide website. And then we have a list on builditgreenutility.org of participating contractors that have met the enrollment requirements for the rater pathway. There is no list of BPI professionals, to the best of my knowledge.
There is one but not related to this program. I mean, BPI on their website has a list of all their BPI professionals, but it's not just for this program.
Yeah, that's a good point. BPI has a list of BPI professionals. But here for PG&E Whole House and for Energy Upgrade California, to the best of my knowledge, there is no list of BPI certified professionals. I have seen regional websites list professionals, including BPI analysts, on their website. The only one that comes to mind is Santa Clara. Santa Clara has a county website, and they list not only contractors but raters and BPI analysts. And that might be the case for other local jurisdictions, but unfortunately we don't have much information on what each local jurisdiction is doing. And then we do have a clarification on HERS tests. So HERS tests, I guess, are things like refrigerant charge, fan wattage, flow, QII, and I guess blower door and duct blaster tests are also considered. So thank you for the clarification. I think we can move on.
Yeah, I think we can move on to the next section. I think you're going to cover the health and safety section. Is that right?
Oh, yes. Thank you.
All right. So Melita will walk us through the health and safety section while I refresh my voice. Sorry, apologize for my coughing.
Great. So we'll move on to the health and safety section. We are almost finished. Thank you very much for your patience. We may take some time at the end of the presentation to review the program portal. This is builditgreenutility.org. And then we'll have our contact information up at the end of the presentation so that you'll have information on how to contact us and call us if necessary. Very briefly, we'll discuss safety. Comprehensive safety is a program requirement. We assume that all contractors are abiding by any BPI health and safety standards or OSHA equipment safety standards. We expect all participating contractors and raters to wear fitted respirators, safety glasses, and any other safety equipment when necessary. Combustion appliance safety testing are required for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program, and those tests are required to be completed by BPI certified professionals. Please also take into consideration any hazardous material specifications and make sure to dispose of hazardous material appropriately. The augmented BPI CAS protocols, also known as the action guidelines, are the combustion appliance safety testing standards for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. They encompass core BPI combustion appliance standards, and they are augmented with supplementary protocols adapted by PG&E. So this includes natural gas appliance testing, or NGAT protocols, and you can find the combustion appliance safety action guidelines on our document library. So that would be accessible on builditgreenutility.org. Select resources and document library, and then scroll down until you see Whole House Action Guidelines. There are some hazardous material considerations to just be aware of. Some hazards encountered on Energy Upgrade California jobs include asbestos, lead-based paint, mercury, knob and tube wiring. Just make sure you're taking the appropriate considerations and cautions when dealing with these hazardous materials. We'll briefly take a moment to review next steps for you guys as participating contractors and raters interested in the program. We've developed this slide to kind of describe some methods to consider in order to succeed in the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. Excuse me. There is a significant amount of paperwork that needs to be completed for this rebate program, and it's probably the case for many rebate programs across the state operating under Energy Upgrade California. As a result, it is really a good idea to have dedicated administrative staff or to dedicate time for that administrative process. This includes collecting all of the necessary paperwork for the application, filling out the job information on Green Energy Compass, and keeping on top of those applications as they go through the pipeline. Remember, if information is not consistent with across the forms, or if you're modeling something and you're not sure how to model it or you modeled it wrong, applications can be returned to you as a contractor or rater for review or for correction, and you want to make sure that you stay on top of that application as it goes through the job submission pipeline. There's also special consideration to take when you're integrating home performance into your business model. You want to make sure that you have the proper resources. That includes things like training, sales and marketing training, and additional considerations like that when you are integrating home performance or this rebate program into your existing business, or if you're developing a business. You want to make sure that you have the appropriate resources on staff to dedicate and to get homeowners their rebates. Things to consider is additional training for staff, and that includes installation best practices, sales and marketing training. You also want to keep on top of all of the policies. The unfortunate reality of the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program is that things have changed, and policies that were set in stone a year ago have been updated due to feedback from you as participating contractors and raters, but also in order to align some of the programs that are happening statewide. You'll want to set expectations with customers and clients in a really conservative fashion. You don't want to overpromise on the delivery of certain rebates. You don't want to tell homeowners that you're going to get them $4,500 when they really only qualify for $2,000. And just remember that we here at Build a Green are available for questions. We do offer mentoring services to participating contractors and raters that are enrolled in the program. We do really take seriously our customer service, and we do try to get back to raters and contractors within the business day. So feel free to reach out to us. We will have our contact information on the very last slide. And hold us to our word. If we've told you we'll get back to you in a day and we don't, make sure we do. Hold us to those expectations, because we are here as a resource for you to succeed in the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. Matt, do you want to add anything before we move on?
I don't think so. I think we've covered most of it. Take advantage of mentoring.
Yeah, and call us whenever you have questions. When you call us, you'll either receive myself or my associate, Alex Angel. We'll do our best to either connect you with someone that can answer your question or answer your question over the phone. We do want to briefly just touch on the IT systems that are part of the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. So when you complete your application, your enrollment application, you will be visiting the enrollment page. And you can access that by visiting buildagreenutility.org and then selecting that all contractors or all raters manage, account, and enroll. That'll direct you to this pgne.conservationrebates.com website. You don't need to remember that website. Just remember, visit our program portal and select manage, account, and enroll. There is also the Green Energy Compass website. This is the job submission software that we use to share job-specific data between contractors and raters and Build a Green and PG&E. It's a secure website set up for this program, and it's what we utilize to submit applications for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. And then finally, we have the statewide website. That's energyupgradesca.org. This is where you, as a participating contractor or rater, can select or can download marketing resources approved for the statewide program. This slide does highlight program contacts and next steps. So after this participation workshop webinar, you fulfill that first step in the enrollment process. You can start your enrollment application by visiting buildagreenutility.org and selecting the appropriate enrollment button, All Contractors Manage, Account, and Enroll, or All Raters Manage, Account, and Enroll. You can also sign up for basic or advanced technical training by visiting the events page. Visit buildagreenutility.org and then select events. That'll take you to our calendar, and the next advanced technical training is this week. You can register for it by clicking on the event on our calendar and then scrolling down and selecting register. The basic training, unfortunately, for this month has been canceled due to low registration, but we do hope to get another basic technical training on the calendar for next month. You can also begin reviewing other websites for more information, or reviewing websites for more information. That includes the program portal, builditgreenutility.org. We have recorded webinars, we have policies, we have training dates. All that information is listed on our program portal for you as a contractor or rater or an administrator to review. And then the statewide website is for homeowners, and it's not exclusively for PG&E, but you as a participating contractor, you can get familiar with the website and most importantly access marketing collateral once you're approved. So if you have questions, we do have a participant hotline, 866-970-7348. You'll be given the option for enrollment or job submission. Our contractor services will assist you with any enrollment questions, and you can email the enrollment department by emailing enrollment@builditgreenutility.org. If you have general questions about the program, you can email info@builditgreenutility.org. Job-specific questions, go to jobs@builditgreenutility.org. And then if you have questions about the field quality assurance protocols, fieldqa@builditgreenutility.org is the email address. If you want to talk to us, give us a call, and you'll be directed to us at Build It Green if you select the job submission option. That concludes our presentation. I'm going to touch base with Matt really quick to see what questions have been submitted. We'll review the questions, and then if we have people interested, we can review the program portal website. Wait 1 minute while we review the questions. Great.
There's some questions.
Before you do that, I forgot to mention that we do have a representative from CalCerts who will be discussing their BPC certification, their Building Performance Contractor certification. I'm sorry I didn't mention it before I checked in with Matt, but we do have a representative that will be talking about the CalCerts Building Performance Contractor program, so stay tuned for that. Go ahead with the questions, Matt.
Sure. In Energy ProRes performance alternatives, what documentation is required to confirm credit points taken for items like system airflow and fan wattage verification? The appropriate HERS MEC forms?
I don't remember. I'll have to get back to you on that one. I'll try to include it in the follow-up email that we send out to you guys at the end of the week. I want to say that it's a CF4R, but I get the CF4R and the CF1R confused. So you do have to submit additional documentation when you claim HERS credits, and I just need to confirm on what form needs to be submitted. If I can, I'll include that in the follow-up email, so look for that before the end of the week. And then if I can't, I'll reach out to you directly, whoever asked that question, to make sure that we get that answered for you.
So the average advanced package cost, a question about that, is the average advanced package cost of $15,000 before the rebate? Yeah, it's before the rebate. What's the average rebate amount for the advanced package on that $15,000? So like $3,500 or?
I can't remember. I want to say it was. I want to say it was $2,500, but yeah, that $15,000 is before the rebate, so it's not the net.
Yeah. Another question about average savings for basic package projects. It works out to about 10%, but it's more prescriptive in nature because it's a laundry list, so it's kind of taken with a grain of salt.
Yeah, that's right. So we've had contractors start off by submitting to us basic applications, so for basic jobs, which included that list of 7 required measures: air sealing, attic insulation, reduction in duct leakage. And they submitted the job as basic, but then when they modeled it, they got 15% or more savings, so we turn that basic job into an advanced job. Basic jobs don't have an associated modeling requirement, so it's hard to know what the corresponding savings is associated with, the upgrade that you do. PG&E has associated what they call deemed savings to basic jobs, and they sort of assume that basic jobs will achieve an average of 10% energy savings, but that's, I mean, we've seen basic jobs turn into advanced jobs, which means they've reached the minimum 10% tier, energy savings tier, and we've had basic jobs meet 15% or more. That doesn't happen a lot, and sometimes contractors don't take a moment to model that basic job to see if it qualifies for advanced. But the deemed savings associated with basic is 10%, but we've had basic jobs reach 15.
Good point, Melina. Yeah, so you might want to run it through advanced.
Yeah.
You might get more.
Yeah, if you think you've done a significant amount of like attic insulation and air sealing, and you think it qualifies for advanced, model it, and if it does, then it qualifies.
Yeah. Question about Southern California Edison and Southern California Gas. Do they have a similar, the same or similar program as PG&E? It is a little different, so you should contact them.
Yeah, I feel
similar, but not exactly the same.
Yeah, it's similar. I feel better directing your question about SoCalGas and SoCal Edison to the program administrators down there, just because we are very familiar with PG&E Whole House, and we are only somewhat familiar with, you know, SoCal Edison and SoCalGas, the SoCalGas program.
There are some differences. So
there are some differences, especially with, I think they have a flex program for down in Southern California. I think they also have a different quality assurance and quality control protocol, especially in Southern California Edison. So there are really unique differences between the program, and they would be the best people to contact for those questions. If you need their contact information, let me go back one. You can email us or you can call us, and we'll do our best to connect you with a representative down there.
A question about continuing education credits for this webinar. Unfortunately not, because this is a very specific webinar to get entry into this program. It's very specific and related to this rebate program, so fortunately not, sorry. But it is fulfilling a requirement for your first step towards enrollment in this program. So I think that's all the questions we have, so please stay on the line because we're about to queue up Kevin Beck. Are you there, Kevin?
Yes, I am. How are you guys doing today?
Very good, thank you.
We're great, thanks.
Good. So let's see here. You're going to control it on your end, or do I have control here?
Okay.
Either way, we can control it.
Okay.
Yeah, go ahead and tell me when to advance the slides, Kevin. Okay. And if you'd like to introduce yourself or the CalCerts a little more, I don't know that we did a really good formal introduction, so feel free to take a few moments to do that as well.
Okay, sure. Thanks, Melina. My name is Kevin Beck. I'm the Director of Training here at CalCerts. For those of you who don't know who CalCerts is or what we do, we are a California HERS provider, and that term is very specific in the California Code and regulations. It is our job to train HERS raters and to follow their activities and to monitor their activities and to also maintain our own HERS registry, which is basically a cloud-based data bank of all the uploads from all the various HERS rater activities out there. One clarification I'd like to try to come up with is that in the HERS program there's two parts, and you had some questions earlier from different callers about, you know, is HERS testing required, is it not required, and you handled it very well. But I would just like to put out there that there are kind of two camps within the HERS program. There's what we call the Field Verification Diagnostic Testing Rater, FVDT rater. Their job is to act as the energy police here in California. They're actually deemed or considered special inspectors of the state. Their role is to go out there whenever an HVAC system gets changed or ductwork gets added to a system or things like that that change the energy consumption of a building or a home. Depending upon your local code requirements, that activity could trigger a HERS rating. or a HERS verification, I should say, not a rating, but a verification. Let me make sure we're all clear on the terms here. That activity is for verifying only. It's not to put a number or a score or a rating to a home. That activity belongs to a whole house home energy rater. That's HERS Phase 2. Two distinct camps of activity. Both are certified by CalCerts, or both are trained by CalCerts. But I just wanted to kind of lay the foundation a bit. So you might be in an energy upgrade program regardless of where you're at in the state, and the program might not require a HERS verification test, but California code may. So keep that in mind as you go forward into the energy efficiency arena. Again, we are a California HERS provider. There are a couple of others still kind of semi-active in the state, but we've been going full steam ever since we started and continue to do so. We definitely welcome other providers. It keeps the playing field even, and we don't get so many arrows in our back. But anyway, we presented this little PowerPoint to a steering committee meeting for the California Public Utilities Commission middle of last year, I think it was. And Bill Green asked us to maybe put it out there again for those who are considering entering energy upgrade program as participating contractors or participating raters to consider this new certification model called the HERS BPC model. And I'll get to that in a second, but I just want to kind of lay that groundwork. So go ahead and change the slide there, Melina. So I come from a construction background. I got into green building late 90s, early 2000s, and then got into the other fields like HERS rating and LEED rating and building performance, and got all my BPI credentials, et cetera. So just to give you an idea, I understand and appreciate and respect both activities. There used to be a time when the two camps, the HERS community and the home performance community, didn't talk very well together. There was a great divide between the two activities or industries or careers even. We saw it, our company saw it as a benefit to offer both, but some still do and will continue to serve one camp or the other and not want to cross paths. But we saw the benefit because as a HERS rater within our own company, we could go out there and diagnose things properly according to the local codes, but also having the BPI training and all that comes with that, the health and safety and ensuring the comfort and durability of a home for the homeowner was a great combination. So we ran out and got all these credentials. No matter who was presenting them or offering them, we felt it was a great service to provide to our clients so they wouldn't have to go anywhere else. They could hire us as their trusted advisor, and we would provide all the information and the testing and documentation, and we had all the credentials to do so. So it was truly a one-stop shop. So the CEC, in their wisdom, has kind of modified the HERS 2 program and added this additional credential called the HERS Building Performance Contract, and we'll go into that in a second. So go ahead and change, Melina, please. Okay, so early on, probably the beginning of last year, maybe even the tail end of the year before, we started asking a lot of questions of homeowners and raters because we were curious about what the activity was for Energy Upgrade California, what would prevent some people from going into the program. And these are some of the messages that we got from homeowners and raters and some of the corrections that are still being corrected. We're working hard. All our organizations are working hard to alleviate these problems. But if you, as a participating contractor, can help eliminate some of these problems during your first engagement with a homeowner, you're more apt to help them through the whole tunnel. Homeowners get very frustrated and frantic when there's too many hoops to jump through or protocols or documents. So as painless as you can make the process for them, the better off you're going to be while working in this program, we have found out. So keep your messaging simple. Try to streamline the process when you can. Get yourself well-trained or partner with someone who is well-trained and understands the various systems and diagnostic tests appropriate and necessary. And then make sure everything is done, with high integrity, all the reporting is accurate, there's no discrepancies, et cetera, because the last thing is you want is, some document being rejected because something was incorrect or falsified. We don't want to see that at all. So make sure that happens. Okay, next, please. So people ask us, and we try to offer this information, what does a rater bring to the table? I'm talking specifically here about not the diagnostic testing rater who has those other duties to perform, but I'm talking specifically about a whole house home energy rater, who, by the way, is already a field verification diagnostic testing rater. You have to be that individual before you can jump over into whole house rating. So these individuals, they have to understand and follow and know how to research and adhere to the California Energy Codes, what we term Title 24. They're also taught and are very well versed in energy modeling. This becomes a very sticky point for a lot of contractors, and I was one of them. I would self-admit that I called before I joined CalCERS. I was on their phone a lot asking for technical support because it's a little bit tricky how things get uploaded and what tests you do here and what tests you do there. So especially the energy modeling, it is a very foreign tool to use for a contractor. We're more used to having tools hanging on our belts than ones in computers. So it does take some getting used to. So keep that in mind as you're going forward, thinking about, should I learn this myself or should I align myself with somebody who knows it or go get the training. The raters obviously also have to feed into the registry, so they know how to do that. They are, as I said, a verification rater, so they can perform those functions by performing diagnostic tests on newly installed equipment or replaced equipment. And the whole house rater's principal duty is to help the homeowner. They are to act as a consultant rather than the police. I like to, in my own mind, kind of divide up the two camps. The field verification rater is like the police squad, and the whole house rater is like the paramedics. They help take care of the house. They help that homeowner identify issues and problems and to fix them. Obviously, they're concerned about the performance of systems after the fact, but their main concern is getting things for the homeowner that makes sense. And hopefully will save energy. That's their job. They're also the only ones in California that can provide a whole house HERS score. The other providers no longer in that camp. Only CalCERS now offers that service. But it is a way to put a stamp on your jobs too. And this is what I tell my contractor friends is, without a HERS score put on your projects, how are you promoting it? What kind of report card are you sending out there to the universe saying, this is the work I've done and here's my score? I'm always curious, how contractors answer that question. And for energy efficient mortgages, there is a requirement by HUD to perform a whole house rating. So that also has to be done by a whole house home energy rater. Next. And then the flip side, or the other side of the fence, is the home performance contractor. What do they bring to the table? What benefit do they bring? Well, the contractors on the line know most of this list. We've all been psychologists and babysitters and consultants and advisors and all of the things on top of the work that we were doing. So we, by our profession and by necessity, have had to become very good communicators to our consumers, to our clients. So that's kind of one of the things that we bring to the table. Not to say that HERS raters don't have that capability, but their communications are predominantly focused on the HVAC company or an architect or the provider. They're not necessarily focused on the homeowner, except for the whole house rater who might have some interaction. But their skill is not as deep as I would say as a contractor might be. The home performance contractors have been certified by BPI or some like-kind organization that has provided their combustion safety testing training. They know how to look for and correct health and safety issues typically, more so than just a HERS rater who's just looking at one component of the home. These home performance contractors have a wider vision when they're looking at a home. They're not focused on just the energy features per se, but they might be looking at comfort issues, misalignment of thermal boundaries, moisture issues that could be affecting not only the thermal performance of the home, but health-related issues within the home that could affect the family. So that's a really important one to catch. And then along those lines, too, is the durability issues. Moisture does kill buildings, and we know that. We just have to find where it's coming in and get rid of it. They're also providing the homeowners with a roadmap, a cost-effective list of improvements populated by the Energy or CalRate Pro software, but they, too, can lend their own advice on top of that list and talk about the appropriateness of each measure as it's being explained to the homeowner. You know, do you do insulation here first, or do you change your water heater first? It might, the climate zone might dictate what that list is or what's the appropriate order of that list, and the home performance contractor would be able to tell that to the homeowner. I also like to remind everybody that someone's got to take care of this client when the dust settles, and it all falls on the contractor's shoulders. So they're the ones who are going to be talking to the homeowner again, making sure everything's working properly, coming in and tuning systems if they have to. The goal is to do a great job at the beginning, serve them well with high integrity, and then visit them again to make sure that everything's working so that we get the word spread that this is a great program that everybody should be involved with. Next slide, please. So the big question is, what if there was a way to provide both? You know, you have these two lists of skill sets, the HERS raters with all their kind of the energy stuff and the modeling and the code compliance, and then you have the home performance contractor who knows the health and safety stuff, has been trained and approved by BPI, and has the credentials, knows how homes are put together and what the defects could be, and how to find the corrections for those defects, and how to execute the job. So two great skill sets in both lists, but how do we put them together? Next slide, please. Well, this is the way we do it. It's called the home performance, or the HERS building performance contractor / rater model. And I put the / rater model because that's how it's designed. There are HERS raters who go out there and get their BPI certifications, and when they have a relationship with the general contractor, an agreement is signed and they become an employee of that contractor. Now that company can become a HERS BPC company without the general contractor attending any trainings. There's a little one-day one, but that's just very quick so they know the overview, but the rest of the knowledge and skills are in the head of that HERS BPC rater at that point. I also have plenty of HERS or contractors who are also HERS raters and BPI certified, so they very easily fit into this certification. And it's by combining all these duties and responsibilities and skill sets that will save you money as a company, but it also saves your client time and money because they're having to take off work for this test, or that guy didn't show up, or whatever it is. Your job should be to try to streamline the process as best you can without diminishing performance. So I encourage you to think about the model. It is not for everybody. I'm not here as a salesman. I'm here to just educate. There are some specific requirements, and if you have questions, if you go to the next slide, I'd be happy to answer any questions. You can send an email to me at kevin@calcerts.com, or if you have questions about training, you can just visit calcerts.com website. And I think that's it.
There's some questions.
Great. Thank you very much, Kevin. I do appreciate your clarification of the verification rater versus the whole house rater. I know we had a couple questions, and thank you very much. We did have some questions submitted during your presentation. Do you have a moment to stay on?
Yes, definitely.
Great.
Okay.
Go ahead, Matt.
There are a couple questions here. One is on marketing, which I don't know if it's a Kevin question, but there is something on for you, Kevin.
Yeah.
But first, from the marketing side, after EUC project completion, is there any type of plaque or certificate that homeowners are provided to show the environmental impact, such as CO2 reduction or kilowatt saved, similar to Energy Star GPR or HERS 2 certificate? Currently, we do not have anything like that in the EUC program. I was just saying we were on mute to Melina that would be kind of a savvy marketing piece that you could provide to homeowners. I mean, there's no reason you couldn't, with the Energy Upgrade California participating logo, as long as you're using the co-branding guidelines.
Yeah, exactly. Or even the HERS score. If you're doing the modeling already, you're already in the software, and the only thing you have to do to get the certificate without a big watermark on it is a $25 or $35 fee to CalCERS to process the certificate. So it's very minimal cost to give yourself that report card that you can frame and give to your homeowner.
Yeah, and unfortunately for PG&E Whole House and EUC, I don't think we don't have that. Local programs or local jurisdictions programs may offer that. I'm going to escalate that one to our contract manager and see if there's anything in the works, because every now and then we discover something that's in the works that just hasn't been released yet. And if it's not, I'll propose it to the next marketing website administrators to see if anything's in the pipeline for some kind of plaque or certification for EUC.
And just to add to that a little bit, I heard the words, but the HERS rating certificate does have kilowatt hours saved and all those other features, and we're redesigning the certificate now so that the installing contractor, if you're a HERS BPC contractor, your name will also be very prominent on that form, so everybody kind of knows who to go to next when they want to fix up their home. Great.
Thank you, Kevin.
Awesome. And so another question, what can HERS Rater do that BPI certified building analyst does not do, and vice versa?
Great question. Lots of crossover on the diagnostic testing, but that's about where it ends. The HERS program, by its definition, is a code requirement. We can't perform our building function here in California without the HERS system. It is there to monitor installations and to guarantee or hopefully entice high-performing systems out there. Beyond that, I don't know.
Okay, I hope that answers your question. If not, let us know.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Another question. As a BPC through CalCERS, can I, this has some parts, so listen carefully. Can I, 1, perform test in, test out, and data submission, 2, hold the prime contract for upgrades with homeowner, and 3, hire home performance subcontractors to perform the work as per CSLB guidelines?
That sounds like a PG&E Whole House question. I think the answer to all of those is yes, as long as you are a BPC participating contractor that met the enrollment requirements for the program. You could do all of those things. So you could
except for number 1, you cannot test in and test out your own work.
Oh, that's right. Thank you, Kevin. I forgot about
Sure.
that. There are some restrictions for the HERS program. Why don't you go ahead and answer that, Kevin?
Sure. Let me just see if I got the right order. Test in, test out, no, but you could walk across the street and test in and test out for somebody else.
Okay.
The second question was if you can hire other people, but the whole value of becoming a HERS BPC is you don't have to hire people. So if you're into that model, which is perfectly fine, if that's your favorite business model, then don't become a HERS BPC. Just do your outsourcing to the HERS professional or a HERS professional who also happens to have BPI credentials in their wallet. There's always that available to you. And I forget what the third part of the question was.
The third one was, can I hold the prime contract for upgrades with homeowner?
Yes, you can. That's the beauty of the HERS BPC credential. The regulators have written right into it the exceptions to the rule. That everybody understands that there is this perception of conflict of interest. I've tested it, and I can't test or I can't do the work. You know, like the old termite story of the guy that does your termite report. This is similar but different. The California regulators have said, yes, you can do the test in, not for the code compliance, but the initial evaluation of the home. You can then give that report to the homeowner. They say, let's go to work. You say, fine, sign here. You do the work. You do the test out. You hire an outside HERS rater if you need field verifications done, and then the rest is all of yours. It's all built into the HERS BPC program.
Thanks, Kevin. And then just to clarify, that third-party requirement is specific to CalCERS. So here for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program, we have had participating contractors enrolled in the program upgrade their own house and complete the testing. So that's third-party requirement is for CalCerts, and that's what you reiterated
for HERS, not necessarily for CalCert, but for the HERS program. Yes, you're right.
Thank you for HERS.
Sure.
And
yeah.
then just to finish up that question, that's assuming you meet the enrollment requirements. So I just want to reiterate that you will have to meet the enrollment requirements for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, great. I thought we got.
Yeah.
I think we got that one.
Yeah. So I mean, if you're a HERS 2 rater and you want to, enter the rater pathway, you obviously have to enroll and meet all those requirements to be able to hold the prime contract for upgrades.
Right.
Kind of thing with the homeowner.
Great.
I think we beat that one to death. Anything else from anyone? Just please enter it now. It seems like the questions are kind of dwindling now. Thank you so much for all of your patience through this quite long presentation, but we hope you learned a lot, and we'll be sending you the slides for reference, both sets.
And thank you very much, Kevin, for your participation. We're going to
move welcome, you guys.
And give people an overview of the program portal. You're welcome to stay on, or any questions submitted afterwards, I can just send you privately.
That would be great. Thank you, Melina.
Great. Thank you very much, Kevin.
Thanks, guys.
See you guys. All right.
Bye.
Bye.
So for the rest of the people online, you're welcome to log off. We are finished with the presentation. What we do want to do is take you briefly to the program portal, which is builditgreenutility.org. So the program portal can be accessed by typing in builditgreenutility.org. And this is what you see. The home page is really accessible by anyone. It's meant to be for participating contractors, participating raters, and anybody interested in the program. Once you visit the website, you are given an opportunity to enroll. And you would click on the All Contractors Manage Account or Enroll button if you're a contractor, or All Raters Manage Account and Enroll if you are a rater. To access our Green Energy Compass software to submit and track jobs, you would click on the third button, Program Participants Submit and Track Jobs. This is meant to be a resource for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program. The statewide website, energyupgradeca.org, is a homeowner-facing website where homeowners can get information, but contractors can also access resources on that website. If you are interested in registering for the Whole House Rebate Program Advanced Training, you would visit this website and select Events from the main menu. On the events calendar, you would scroll down and just click on the Advanced Package Technical Training and scroll down to register by clicking Register Now. That's to register for the Advanced Package Technical Training. We will post future trainings on this events calendar, so stay tuned for updates on that.
Check back often.
Yeah, if you're interested in training.
Sometimes pop up.
And you're welcome to contact us if you have additional questions. We also have resources for program participants. You can access those resources by selecting Resources and then selecting either Document Library, FAQs, or Recorded Webinars. The documents we require for job submission are on the Document Library. When you visit the Document Library, you will see that we have a Program Participant Handbook that can be accessed and downloaded. We also have the Participation Workshop slide deck, which you just viewed. We'll send you a copy in a follow-up email we send later in the week. And then if you scroll down, we have different sections, but the one I'll point you to is the single-family job submission forms here. This is where we have the interim job reporting template, or the JRT, and the test measurements form. This is where you record the measurements for the blower door, duct blaster, and combustion appliance safety test results. In addition to this document library, we do have an FAQ page and a recorded webinars page. We haven't recorded a lot of webinars in recent months, but we did have a multifamily pilot program webinar that we posted, and then we have some useful marketing webinars that we've also posted on sales and marketing strategies. So you're welcome to visit that website and view some of these recorded webinars for your reference. You have the ability to contact us using our Contact Us page, or you can call us. Our phone number is here on the website. That's our direct line to our Oakland office. You can also, oh, and I should read it out, 510-590-3360, extension 606. The one that we posted on the presentation is our general email, general phone number, which just directs you to like an automated system, and you'll select which option, either enrollment or job submission, and you'll be directed to us if you select jobs. And then finally, we have a news and key initiatives page where we have recently updated with some resources. So we have a desktop review checklist. This is a checklist that talks about some of the required forms for the applications that we receive. We have a We Are Build It Green YouTube channel where we post short videos on how to model certain things in Energy Pro for the program. You can get there by visiting YouTube and then searching for the channel We Are Build It Green. And then we have some resources for marketing and regional forum updates. We will have a regional forum in February. If you're interested in attending, look for an invitation. But that regional forum is typically held for contractors and raters approved for the program. Do we have any questions submitted recently?
Something about BPC, but I'm not sure if we can answer it, but we'll try. We might have to forward this one on to Kevin. But
yeah.
So for BPC, you can perform both the test in and test out for UC. The third-party rating is only for the HERS measures like fan, watt, draw, etc.
Yeah, that's what I understood from Kevin, and that was the clarification that I had at the end. That third-party requirement is for HERS and not CalCert and not PG&E Whole House.
Yeah, yeah. Okay, well, I think that's all the questions.
Great.
Thank you, guys. It was a great presentation, and thank you so much for your patience. You asked some really great questions and challenged us, so that's always nice.
Yeah. Thank you very much for your attendance. You will receive a follow-up email with a link to the slides. If you have further questions, feel free to contact us. Myself and my associate, Alex Angel, do our best to return phone calls and emails within 24 hours. Well, one business day. We don't work on the weekends. And then you're welcome to contact our Contractor Services Department with enrollment questions, or us if you have questions about jobs or field quality assurance. Thank you again to all those on the line, and we look forward to working with you for the PG&E Whole House Rebate Program.
Thanks, everyone. Have a great afternoon.